Good evening. Here. Oh. Hello. Give me a second to get going here. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is 𝗧𝗢𝗣𝗑, and I am ButterDish Designs, and this is Crafty Hour, episode 116. Yes, 116. So, thank you so much for joining me this evening. As many of you know, I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I just love getting crafty with paper and stuff. So instead of happy hour, it's crafty hour. So anyways, good evening. Welcome. So I am going to switch to the double side here. Okay, there we go. Hands and face. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the tools I'm going to use this evening first, and then we'll get going of what we're going to do with them. Okay, nothing hard, I promise. So let's see here. The most important part of this evening's repertoire is the 𝗧𝗓𝗘𝗖𝗞 designer series paper that's coming out next week, Tuesday. And I do not have the stamp set or anything. And hang on one second here. My watch thinks that the video is a call, so hang on. Oh no. Why is it doing that? Hang on here. Just going to turn that off. There we go. It's so weird. It all of a sudden started doing that. I think there was a weird update or something. So anyways, back to the paper. It's 𝗧𝗓𝗘𝗖𝗞. And I do not have the stamp set or the dies, but I thought it would be fun to play with the paper and what you can do with it. It has fun prints on the turtles doing different things, barbecuing, the beach. This one's riding a bicycle, ice cream cone. Here's birthday turtle. And this one is a cut apart. So we got this here. And then the back are these little polka dots. And just like the back of this other stuff, this one has music, stripes, little shell pattern. And show you here. The one I'm using this evening has outdoor turtles. So, and the back is this beautiful watercolor green type paper. And then the other one we're going to be using is this one. I like this one a lot. And that side has playing music turtles. So, and don't worry, I already pre-cut. We're doing a little bit of fussy cut because I don't have the stamp set, but it's easy. The other items that I'm going to be using with this that are from this suite are these. These are the shades of green hexagons here. They are really cool, and I don't know if you can see this. Excuse me. Allergies. But they've got a good little, yeah, there we go. You can see they're not flat. And there we go. They're really pretty. I was surprised. To be honest, I thought they were sequins, but they're not. So we're going to be using those. All right. And the everyday arches. And then the spotlight and nature dies. I'm going to use this really teeny tiny one that has, it looked like a sun to me. So that's it. And one color of ink pad this evening, Shaded Spruce. All right, let me show you what we're going to be making this evening. As soon as I grab the envelope over here. Okay. Ta-da! There's the envelope. And here's the card. So, you are simply fantastic. Little turtle, little shades, little glasses, or glasses and a hat. And then you can see those hexagon things there. So, yes, it looks pretty good, but there we go. So that is the front and the inside. And then this is the back side. So you could totally do a little bit of add some pictures. If you needed extra space to write, you could cut out another one of these. You know, sky's the limit there. But it's really cute. Can display it however you'd like. So let's go ahead and go over here. There we go, to the solo layout on this side. 1 second here. All right. So this is what we're going to be making. And I've got some tips for you. So as we're going along here, let me get out my envelope. Okay, so let's talk pieces for this, okay? And there we go. So you're going to need 1, 2, 3 there. That. And the good news is you can cut these out 2 sheets at a time easily. So we've got 3 of each pattern. We have our card front and then the inside here. Okay. So as you can see, I saved some time with the die cutting. You're also going to need that little ray of sunshine there. Okay. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Hang on 1 second here. I don't know why it's going so small here. Bear with me 1 second. That made it even smaller. Well, we'll just go with this for now. I'll have to figure that out next time. It's changed all of a sudden since there was an update. Anyways, back to that. Okay, so our little fussy cuts, just 1 turtle, 2 flowers, and 3 little pieces of that. There we go. Okay. 1 second here. There we go. It's getting a little bit of an echo. And you also need 2 pieces of copy paper. And I really stress that this needs to be copy paper, okay? 3 inches by 1 inch. So there's 2 of those. And I will tell you why here. All right. So we're going to set these aside. And we are going to start with the back. Or we could start with the front. Either way. Start the back. And glue is fine. You do whatever works for you. Hi, Coney. All right, so just going to put and just about halfway through or halfway over. All right. And what it is, I'm just going to the bottom, don't go over. And then on the side, we're going to do the same thing. Oops, too much. Went too far with glue on that one. That's all right. There we go. You're not going to see it anyways. Okay, so we've got those there. And what we'll do is we will, and this is where these need to go behind, not on top. Okay. I almost made a mistake on my last one. So that's why I'm telling you, no, no, no. All right. So these are going to go like this. All right. And what I'm going to do before then is, now that these are dry, is I am just going to fold these in half. Okay. Normally, I know with cardstock and stuff, you're used to scoring, but with this, it is, and see, actually, this one will go back this way. Yes, and then this one will come this way. And this is where I'm going to show you why you don't use cardstock for this, okay? Because this is why. I've already pulled part of this apart. But see that? That's not what we want. See how nice and flat this one is? This one works great. This one is very stiff, doesn't fold right, and so forth. It's just too thick for this. So that's why you don't use it. All right. And again, I'm just getting this so I get these glued on correctly. All right. And you can definitely just lay this flat like so. Make sure you've got everything lined up where they're just touching there. All right, there we go. Now I've got this one over here. Okay. Give that a second there to dry before I start moving it around. Did I do it backwards again? No, we're good. I was like, wait a second. All right. Okay, so this one's going to go here. All right. This one's going to go here. And this is what I'm saying, to lay these out first, okay? And that one's going to go there. All right. Yep, we're right. I'm going to start with the middle because then I can butt up the other ones. And what I found easiest is to put it on there with the wet glue. Kind of gives you a second there to manipulate it where you need it to go. All right. And if all else fails, you can always trim off a little bit. Okay, let's do this back one here. And as you can tell by what we're doing here, that you don't see the copy paper. It's just a mechanism of the card. All right. There we go. We can go ahead. We're not doing any stamping on this. Probably would if I had the stamp set, but I don't. So I'm just going to leave it blank so I can write whatever, depending upon what kind of card I use this for. And we'll just go ahead and center that. It's kind of fun making a card that's not rectangle and stuff. So I'm enjoying this. And as you fold it the first time, just remember to be kind of gentle with it until you get it where it's supposed to lay normally. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and we can glue this part on, and then we'll do the other part. Stamp, go. Thank you. I thought you'd like the fun fold. It's just different. Okay, again, got a little bit of time there with that liquid glue. You could even stand it up. There we go. All right, so there we go. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and do our stamping. We're just doing one stamp here. And we've got the shaded spruce. And there we go. I figured this could be used for quite a bit. Congratulations, birthday, just saying hi, thank you. All right. Close that up there. All right, let's get our little turtly cute turtle here. Okay, I did go ahead and make these items all flat, and this is popped up with a dimensional because I didn't want too many layers on there in order, since it's got so much paper here, that we can go ahead and, you know, not be too thick there. Got a little bit of glue there. Kneaded eraser is your friend for that. I forget where I was, but I found this really tiny one. So cute. Okay. I'm very excited for next week as the new catalog goes live on Tuesday. So I can start sharing the inside of that and so forth. All right. Let's go ahead and get this down here. And this was at the edge of the paper, but don't worry, we're going to cover it up. So there we go. A bit of glue down there, but I'll go back with that eraser there. Okay. I'm going to put one of these below and one above. And I've got that sentiment right there, so I'm going to adjust that just a little bit. And then we will, I left this unglued for a second so that depending upon where I wanted to put this stuff here. I'm going to strategically place that over that cut. And I've got one last little piece here. And I just figured I could be standing in it over here. All right, give that a second to dry. Just give it a dimensional to our little piece of sunshine. Okay, there's that. Get that little bit of extra glue off. Looks good. Okay, this card front here. And again, we're just centering this. There we go. And let's go ahead and play with these a little bit. Okay, and the other one I put on the watering can because I just thought it was cute. There we go. last but not least, this, my boo-boo, we are going to use this to decorate the envelope. All right. What did I do here? Like an inch and a half. Nope, an inch and a quarter. All right. So, not going to let the paper go to waste just because I put it, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So, figured. There we go. Okay. Let's do this here. And then we're done. Just like that, Crafty Hour is going to be done for the week. Oh, in case you haven't noticed, it's May. And every year I like to do a card a day in May just to challenge myself. I hope you'll enjoy me on the adventure. You'll see me posting a lot more. And this today is, of course, today's. It'll post here in just a little bit after we're done. But lots of inspiration is ahead. And if you want to challenge yourself, try to craft along with me and do a card each day. You can really build up your stash. So here we go. Yay. Ta-da. All right, we'll go back to this one. All right. So thanks for joining me this evening. Stay tuned for the month of May as I do a card a day in May. And in for a lot of fun. And it really, most of the time I get up and make one before I go to work. Sometimes like this evening on Crafty Hours, it's later in the day. So, but technically I did make this one this morning and we made this one this evening. So I did that too, but it'll share after we're done. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you next week live at Crafty Hour episode 117. Have a great night and a better weekend. Bye.